Good afternoon. Last class we started our discussion about module 4. I told you module 4 and 5 involves op-amp basics, the basic three configurations, inverting, non-inverting and voltage follower, and later on some applications of op-amp. Some of the applications are there in module 4, some applications are there in module 5. As you can see, these are the whatever I have written as part 2. I have shown the part 2 here. So there are some applications. DC and AC amplifiers, summing, scaling, averaging circuits, instrumentation, comparator, zero crossing detector, Smith trigger. And we spoke about the definition of op-amp, high gain differential amplifier, which has multiple differential amplifier stages followed with a level shifter and output stage. This is the block diagram internal construction of an op-amp. We'll have hundreds of transistors on a single op-amp circuit. So please remember the block diagrammatic approach is the easiest. If you want to see in detail a complete op-amp inside, it will have lots of transistors. You can just Google it. It's also there in your textbook in a different chapter. If I remember, I think chapter 9 or something, you have the detailed diagram of an op-amp, 741 op-amp. I told you about the naming convention, how the first two letters in any IC name indicate the initials of the manufacturing company. So Fairchild has initials mu A, mu AF, National Semiconductor uses letters LM, LH, LF, TBA, so on. And the number is usually not relevant, or it's not always significant. But in this op-amp, just for the sake of remembrance, I told you, you can remember 741, 7 and 4 associated to positive and negative supply, the DC supply which we give for op-amp to work, the biasing DC supply is given at pin 7 and pin 4. And C here, usually you can have a C or A. C indicates commercial grade op-amps. 0 to 70 degrees centigrade will be the operating temperature range. And A indicates military grade op-amps where the working range is much larger. You can have dual inline package and many other various packages. Normally used one is this dual inline package. As you see, normal ICs, how between two layers of silicon or plastic, the pins are sandwiched. The complete IC is in between two layers. And it's an 8-pin IC. The most important among the 8 pins are pin 2, 3, 7, 4 and 6. Pin 3 is the non-inverting input. Whatever you give here will appear in the same phase at the output but amplified. Whereas pin 2 is the inverting input terminal. Anything which is connected here will appear at the output inverted, 180 degree out of phase. V plus pin 7 is the positive power supply. Pin 4 is the negative power supply. The internal diagram of op-amp, whenever we analyze it as an amplifier, we can represent it as an input resistance between terminals 2 and 3. So this is the inverting input terminal, pin 2. This is the non-inverting terminal, pin 3. Between these two terminals, we can write it as a resistance. And on the output side, we can represent it with a dependent voltage source. This actually dependent source, we should write it like this, a square like symbol, not circular. Anyway, it doesn't matter much. What does this output voltage depend upon? It depends on the input differential voltage VD, which is V1 difference of V2. V1 is the voltage given at pin 3, V2 is the voltage given at the inverting terminal. Difference between the two, we are going to call it as VD, and AOL represents the open loop gain of the op-amp. Ideally speaking, you would have constructed an op-amp to give you infinite open loop gain or a very large open loop gain, which is practically in the range of a few mega, let's say 10 power 5 or 10 power 6. And in a Thevenin's equivalent, we know we should always have a resistance in series with a voltage source. This resistance represents the output resistance of the operational amplifier. And RL here is the load resistance. As usual, we have negative power supply at pin 4 and positive power supply plus VCC at pin 7. The voltage transfer curve is shown like this. What's the meaning of transfer curve? It is the plot of output voltage versus differential input voltage. As you can see, for a very small change in differential input voltage, the output voltage changes by a large amount. So there is a sudden, let's say, high slope at the region surrounding the origin. So at the region surrounding the origin in the graph, small changes in the x-axis indicate very large changes in the y-axis value. X-axis is differential input, y-axis is the output. So even if the change in the x-axis is in microvolts, the output voltage will change in volts. So that is because the op-amp has a huge gain. So because the op-amp has a very large gain, small input voltage results in a large output voltage. That's why you're seeing the output slope to be quite higher here near the origin. But the problem with op-amps is it is useful in many cases and it is problematic in a few. So what is that major problem? Once it reaches some voltage level, say 1 microvolt or something or 2 microvolt, the op-amp output becomes constant or it saturates. The op-amp goes into saturation because of the bias supply which we give. The positive bias supply is plus VCC. So nearly when the output voltage reaches that level, the output cannot increase beyond that. Remember, the maximum output voltage will be just the saturation voltage. It can never go above that saturation voltage limit. And that saturation voltage is limited by the biasing power supply, which we are going to connect in the op-amp. Okay. So that biasing power supply positive value is plus VCC. So VSAT will usually be, let's say, approximately 90% of VCC, or I can say it varies from, let me say it varies from 80 to 100% of VCC. So you shouldn't get doubtful when it will be just 80%, and sometimes it will be nearing 100. Whatever VCC I've given, if I've given 12 volts, you'll get the saturation maximum output voltage as 12 volts itself. Similarly, minimum. So even if there are any differential input voltage changes after this point, so after this point, if there are any changes in differential voltage also, output will remain constant. Output remains constant at plus VSAT, the positive saturation. Similarly, in the negative direction, after this point, if the output differential input voltage decreases still further, so even if, let me say, VD decreases, V0 remains constant at minus VSAT. So the output voltage will reach positive and negative saturation at very small levels of differential input voltage. That's why this op-amp basically can be used for comparison applications as it is. And if it has to be for amplifier applications, you will always have to reduce the gain of this op-amp by using negative feedback in the circuit. If we don't use negative feedback, we'll be using the op-amp in open loop mode. As we discussed in the previous class, in open loop mode, the gain of the op-amp is very huge. So op-amp ideally gives you infinite gain. What happens to the signals which are appearing then? The differential input signal which is appearing at the op-amp input terminals will get amplified to a very huge level, but you can't see the output at such a huge level because we have given limited VCC. The power supply bias voltage which is given is limited. Because of that, the output cannot exceed that value. And here, as I was showing you in the example that day, op-amp can be used for comparison applications. See here, if the differential input voltage is positive, say something like this, the op-amp output will be at plus VSAT. And if the differential input voltage is negative, op-amp output is at minus VSAT. So remember, whenever this question will surely be asked, in an open loop configuration, op-amp can work only like a comparator. It can compare the inputs given to the two different terminals. If the input given to the positive terminal is more than that given to the negative, output will be at positive saturation. If at all the input given to the negative terminal or the inverting terminal is more than the value given to the non-inverting, then output will be at negative saturation. As simple as that. So it will help us compare two different input voltages. Now we have to study amplifier applications for op-amp. And we know as it is, the op-amp cannot be used as an amplifier because of its significantly large gain. Because this op-amp has very huge gain, it can only limit the output to plus VSAT or minus VSAT and compare. But we can still design an op-amp to work like an amplifier by using negative feedback in the circuit. So we are going to use negative feedback in the circuit to help make use of the op-amp as a amplifier. So these are the various things we are going to discuss in part 1 of this module. Okay. And then we spoke about the positive and negative feedback. Positive feedback is when the signal is fed back from the output back to the input side in phase with the existing input. There is already some input, and whatever signal is coming back through the feedback circuit will be given in phase, means it will add to the existing input and it will create a much higher output voltage. Okay. So that is positive feedback. It's also known as regenerative feedback. And that is the common principle used in oscillator circuits. Oscillators will work only when we give positive feedback. And the simple reason is that the oscillations will start at very low voltages and they have to be amplified many times. So positive feedback will help us to increase the magnitude and amplify. Next comes negative feedback. Negative feedback is a circuit wherein a portion of the output voltage is given back to the input out of phase. So if at all a portion of the output voltage will be given back to the input out of phase, we call that as negative feedback, because whatever feedback is given, it will tend to decrease the actual input and hence output will also decrease. But the main advantage of giving this negative feedback is, as we will show in our classes from now onwards, we can make the output depend only on the resistors connected to the circuit, and hence it will be independent of the op-amp internal gain, and only the resistors connected externally will determine the voltage gain, which makes it easy for us to design op-amp amplifier circuits, where you can design a given op-amp operational amplifier for a required gain. Say I wanted a gain of 100. I can choose the resistors in the external circuit and accordingly I can design for any gain value. So if op-amp should be used as amplifier, please remember this and store it in your head. It should be compulsory that it should use negative feedback. Without negative feedback, it's not possible. Then we were talking about the types of feedback. We have 4 basic types of feedback. They are, as you can see, I told you about the naming convention the other day. The first character talks about what type of output signal we have. Type of output signal. It can be a voltage or a current. This and the second syllable in the name talks about how the feedback signal is mixed at input. So on the input side, how the feedback signal gets added or mixed with the input. And again, I will have 2 types based on that. I can have series or shunt mixing. I can either connect the feedback signal in series with the input, or I can connect it in shunt with the input. Can you tell me what would the feedback signal be if I'm making a series connection? Remember, feedback signal is part of the output signal. If I should make a series connection on the input side, remember the feedback signal is getting added or subtracted from the input. What are the signals which can be added or subtracted when connected in series? See, you know 2 basic signals, voltage and current. Think in that direction. Can I add or subtract currents with a series connection? Or current?
Voltage. Voltage.
That's all, as simple as that. If you want to add or subtract a voltage, only then you will make a series connection. See VF, the feedback signal. If I want to add it, I will give it in phase. Then the signal here will be VI plus VF. Both are adding on to each other. Whereas if I want to subtract it, I'll give it with this sign, out of phase. Then the signal becomes VI minus VF. Please remember, whenever I make a series connection on the input side, it will always be a voltage signal. Likewise, if I make a shunt connection on the input side, what type of signal would it be?
Current.
It would be a current, input current and feedback current. If both are in the same direction, then the total current would be II plus IF. If both are in opposite direction, the total current would be II minus IF. So please remember this. We call these as mixing circuits. Mixing happens on the input side, and on the output side it is sampling. What is sampling? Taking a portion of the output signal and giving it as input to the feedback circuit. How do you take a sample of the output and connect it as the input to the feedback circuit? And on input side it is mixing. Mixing is how do you add or subtract the feedback signal with the input signal which is already there. Okay. So we saw about mixing. Mixing can be of 2 types. One is series mixing. In series mixing, it's always a voltage which is the feedback signal. The second one is shunt mixing. In shunt mixing, the voltage signal is in shunt mixing, the signal should be a current. Okay. Only current can be added or subtracted in shunt. So type of mixing circuit we say, that is the name, second part of the name of feedback amplifiers or feedback types. And As usual, we'll have amplifier in the end. Now, coming to the output side, how will I be able to take a sample of the voltage? If I want whatever is the output voltage, if I want to tap that voltage, what kind of connection will I make? Yes? You have some voltage somewhere. Okay, say I have a voltage 10 volts across this. How will I take the same voltage and give it to some other circuit? Anything. How will I be able to take the existing voltage across a resistor? Okay, I'll ask the question in a different way. How will you measure voltages in the lab? What do you use? What is the instrument used to measure voltages?
Voltmeter.
Voltmeter.
Voltmeter or a multimeter. So how will you connect a multimeter or voltmeter if you want to measure a voltage?
Across the load.
Across
the device.
in parallel. Remember this. Whenever you want to take a sample of an existing voltage, sampling voltage means I have to connect the circuit across it. Whenever I want to take a sample, I have to connect the additional circuit across the given voltage of which I should take a sample. Suppose I want to sample a current. I want to take a sample of a existing current or a measure of the existing current. How would you do it? Which is the current measuring device?
Ammeter.
Ammeter.
Ammeter. How will you connect the ammeter if you want to measure the current?
To the load.
Between two terminals.
Is it across or is it in series
Between.
part of the loop?
In series, ma'am. Part of.
Ammeter should be connected in series if you have to have the same current flowing in the ammeter, whichever flowed in the resistor or the circuit. Say you had some current flowing in this. I have to measure that current IL. I should connect ammeter in series with that resistor. So a sample of the output current can be obtained with a series connection of the feedback circuit, and a sample of the output voltage can be obtained with a shunt connection. Remember this. So how should you remember? If at all the output signal is a voltage, then it always means it is a parallel or shunt connection across the output. Okay. So you will always connect the feedback circuit in shunt or in parallel with the load. Whereas if the output signal is a current, if at all the output signal is a current, then you'll have to make a series connection to sample that current. Okay. Remember, this is with respect to sampling. So it is the exact opposite of mixing. Sampling happens on the output side, mixing happens on the input side. So sampling is nothing but taking the existing output signal. So taking the existing output signal and connecting it as input to the feedback network is known as sampling. Okay. So please understand what is sampling. Sampling is to just extract the output signal and connect that same signal as input to the feedback network. And how will I extract the output signal? By making a suitable shunt or parallel connection when the output signal is a voltage, and by making a series connection when the output signal is a current. Please note down and remember that. And coming to the input side, how is the feedback signal, which is the output of the feedback network, given back to the input side? How are we going to mix the feedback signal with the input? That is achieved using a mixing network. This is sampling network. This is mixing network. Input side connection is a mixing network. And here you remember, mixing means adding. Sampling means measuring or extracting. Mixing means adding or subtracting. So if I have the feedback signal as a voltage, then I will need a series connection on the input side so that I'll be able to add or subtract a voltage with the existing input. Okay. Series connection whenever the input and feedback signals are voltages. Shunt connection whenever the input and feedback signals are currents. You can add or subtract a current with a shunt or parallel connection. Now, with these basics, I have two types of signals and 2 into 2, so 4 different categories of feedback amplifiers. As you can see, the upper one is voltage series feedback amplifier, the first one. I hope you are able to see. Should I clear out all this, what I have added, or can you make out? Can you make out the circuit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you are able to make out the circuit, it's fine. You see, voltage series feedback means, which is the first term, voltage. This indicates the output signal. The first term always indicates the type of output signal. So since the output signal is a voltage, the sampling network should sample a voltage. If I should sample a voltage, I should make a parallel connection here. Can you see there is a parallel connection across the output load in this circuit? So this is the parallel connection, as you can see. And the output voltage is sampled and brought as input to the feedback network. Now, output of this feedback network is also a voltage. And I should take this voltage back to the input side and subtract it from the input. Here we are talking about subtraction from feedback signal from the input because we are interested in amplifiers and not oscillators. Okay. So we are interested in using the circuit as an amplifier. That means I need negative feedback here. Negative feedback means the feedback signal is subtracted from the input. Okay. So how will I subtract a voltage from an existing voltage? By making a series connection, but out of phase. What do you mean by out of phase? Notice this here. Vin has this direction. The input signal is positive at the upper end and negative at the lower end. Whereas the series connected signal Vf is having negative first and then positive. It is something like this. If you have Vi or Vin like this, the Vf which you connect should not be in the same direction, but it should be in the opposite direction. Can you see? Here Vin is like this, but Vf is opposing Vi. So the effective signal, what I'm going to see here, will be Vin minus Vf. The feedback signal will get subtracted from this when it is fed back out of phase. And remember, this series connection indicates that it is a voltage signal that is fed back. So what type of mixing do I have here? I have series mixing. In the name, I'm going to write what output signal I will have and what type of mixing I'm going to do. So the name of this first feedback circuit is voltage series feedback. Output signal will be a voltage and the feedback signal is mixed in series. Hence the name voltage series feedback amplifier. And in this amplifier, if you see the basic op-amp amplifier will take input signal as a voltage and the output signal of this will also be a voltage. Therefore, I will have voltage amplifier as the basic op-amp. Op-amp will be amplifying voltages, or it will give me a ratio of output voltage to input voltage. Similarly, this feedback network, remember what is the transfer function of feedback network? We used to call it B or beta. The transfer function of the feedback network is the ratio of the output of the feedback network, which is the output, VF, to the input of the feedback network, which is V0. Output of feedback network is VF, input is V0. So ratio of output to input is your feedback factor beta. This is the feedback transfer function. This is the transfer function of the op-amp. So basically, this is how you realize a voltage series feedback amplifier. We'll see one more category, voltage shunt. In voltage shunt, what happens? What should the output signal be? Can you tell me fast?
Voltage.
Voltage. The output signal should be a voltage because the first term indicates output signal. Output is voltage. How will I sample a voltage? In shunt. If I have to take a sample of the output voltage and give it as input to the feedback network, I should make a shunt connection at the output, as you can see here. This is a shunt or parallel connection. Now, I'm taking the feedback signal, whatever I have here, and I'm again making a shunt connection here. So what type of feedback signal do you normally expect if you make a shunt connection? Which signal is added or subtracted in parallel?
Current.
The current. If I have to add or subtract a current, then I will make a parallel connection. So don't get confused because Vin and In are written here. You just consider this In. The input signal is a current from which I am going to subtract this feedback current to get the actual current which goes into the basic amplifier. So I will have an actual current signal going into the amplifier or the op-amp. Output is a voltage. So output of op-amp is a voltage, whereas input is a current. So if input is a current and output is a voltage, what type of gain will I get in this op-amp? What is voltage by current?
AB.
No. What is a voltage divided by a current? It is a measure of resistance R. So the basic operational amplifier will give me a trans resistance gain. We call it as a trans resistance amplifier. Trans means transfer of resistance from input side to output side. And why it's called a trans resistance amplifier? Because the output which we are interested in is a voltage and the input which we are giving is a current. Hence, the gain of this amplifier will be a voltage by current, which indicates a resistance value. Hence, the basic amplifier is called a trans resistance amplifier. Okay. And coming to this feedback circuit, the feedback circuit has a feedback factor beta. You see, the input to the feedback network is a voltage. Why input to feedback network is voltage? Because the output voltage is sampled with a shunt connection. You see, it is this voltage which is brought as input to the feedback network, whereas the output of the feedback network is a current. The feedback signal is a current, IF, which gets subtracted from the input current. So, the transfer function of this feedback network is IF by V0. It indicates a current by voltage or a conductance. It's always, if the basic op-amp is a resistance or trans resistance type, the feedback network should be of a conductance type. Because if basic amplifier takes current as input and gives voltage as output, the feedback network is working in the opposite direction. It will take voltage as input and give current as output. Okay? Remember that. So these are the two basic categories which we are going to use here. The other two are current series and current shunt. We will study that later. Okay. So as I was telling you, yeah, it is more clearer here. We need voltage series and voltage shunt. Output is a voltage. Input is also a voltage. And I use a basic voltage amplifier with output by input. The feedback network is also ratio of feedback voltage to output voltage. So everywhere I have voltage ratios. On the input side, it will be a series connection. On the output side, it will be a shunt connection in a voltage series feedback amplifier. Whereas in a voltage shunt feedback amplifier, the output signal is a voltage, whereas the input signal which we are interested in is the current, I in. And the feedback signal will also be a current. So the feedback network is connected in parallel to the input. We call it as shunt mixing. So the mixing network is the shunt network, and the sampling network is also a shunt network. Since I have to sample a voltage, I should always make a shunt connection. So basic amplifier will give you the ratio of output signal, which is voltage, to input signal, which is current. I'll call the current here as the differential current. ID is I in minus IF. So the differential input current is I in minus IF. Output by input is voltage by current. This indicates a resistance. Hence, the basic op-amp is a trans resistance amplifier. Okay, please understand the terminologies. And coming to the feedback network, input to the feedback network is the output voltage V0. Output of the feedback network is the feedback current IF. So beta is output by input, IF by V0. Just remember all this. Any doubts? I think when I send you the PPT, you can go through what kind of questions will be asked. Here, very quickly, discuss the performance of a non-inverting amplifier using op-amp with respect to gain, input resistance and output resistance. Derive all the relevant expressions. This can be asked from 7 to 10 marks max. Usually you can expect a 7 or 8 marks question. You have to find gain, input resistance and output resistance of an op-amp non-inverting amplifier, which we are going to study next. The other question can be explained with a neat diagram and relevant expression an op-amp voltage series feedback amplifier. So a non-inverting amplifier is also, please understand, a non-inverting amplifier is also known as voltage series feedback amplifier in an op-amp. And when we do the analysis, we are going to find its voltage gain, input and output resistance and bandwidth. Remember, these are the same things which we did for a FET amplifier. We did common source FET amplifier. We found its voltage gain, we found its input resistance, output resistance and all. So for analysis, let's first consider a very simple block diagram of a voltage series feedback amplifier. First thing what I want to do is, I want to find a relationship between gain with feedback and gain without feedback. So let me draw a block diagram. Here, the input signal can be scaled by a factor k, so that the input here is k times V in, or you can skip this scaling part also, it won't have any effect. Okay, whether you want to keep this or not is left to your choice. If you want to simplify, just remove this k. So the input signal will be fed as one of the inputs to an adder. The second input to this adder is given as the feedback voltage. So here I have KV in, here I have VF. Now VF is always given with a negative sign, 180-degree phase shifted signal. Okay. So whenever I have negative feedback, remember in an op-amp, when I bring a portion of the output to the inverting input, then we say it is going to have 180-degree phase shift, and that we call as negative feedback. It can be given directly or it can be given through a resistor. Okay. The output can be given back directly to the inverting terminal or through a resistor or through a set of resistors, capacitors, whatever. As long as you connect the output to the inverting terminal, it is always negative feedback. Please remember that. So we are talking about only negative feedback now. We have given the feedback signal as the second input. Therefore, what is the signal which I have here? VID is KV in minus VF. If the voltage here is K times V in, the voltage here is VF. KV in minus VF will give you the differential input. Usually, that's why I told to simplify the things, we'll not consider the scaling factor K. We'll just connect V in as one of the inputs and VF as the other, and they get subtracted to generate VID, the differential input signal. This is fed to the basic op-amp with gain A, and output of the op-amp is V0. Now I want the same V0 to be supplied as input to the feedback network. So what I'll do, I'll make a parallel connection with the output and I'll connect it. Whatever voltage I am having here, the same voltage will come here. It is given as input to the feedback network, and the output voltage of this feedback network is VF. Okay. So this is the basic diagram. You see the different naming conventions. What is open loop gain? Open loop gain A is given as output voltage divided by the differential input voltage which we have here. V0 divided by VID represents the open loop gain of the circuit. What is closed loop gain? The closed loop gain is the gain with feedback. Open loop gain, you remember, is gain without feedback, and closed loop gain is the gain with feedback. How do I measure gain with feedback? I have to consider this whole thing as a black box. So if this whole thing is a black box, the actual applied input signal is V in and the finally measured output voltage is V0. Therefore, the gain with feedback is whatever output voltage you're getting divided by whatever input voltage you have applied. AF is V0 by V in. Whereas open loop gain A was just V0 by VID. Okay. VID is input to the op-amp, basic op-amp. Now coming to the feedback factor beta. Output of the feedback network is VF, input is V0. So VF by V0 is the feedback gain. Now let us consider the first part, that is in the op-amp non-inverting amplifier, how to draw the circuit and what is the concept of negative feedback. So let's draw the circuit diagram first. All of you can either have a look or write down something. People still keep joining at any time. No discipline at all. Here, the input signal is V in and we have considered the source resistance to be approximately 0. I have not considered any source resistance for the signal source which I am going to connect. I'll connect the actual input signal to the non-inverting terminal and a set of resistors to the inverting input terminal. So have a clear look at this connection. The actual AC input signal is given to the non-inverting terminal and a pair of resistors RF and R1 are connected to the inverting input terminal. So if I consider the voltage at the non-inverting terminal as V1 and this as V2, this VID would be V1 difference of V2. Okay, depending on the direction of the input signal, I can vary what? Which one is positive and which one is negative. So if I assume V1 is the input given to the non-inverting, that should always be represented with a positive value, higher value, minus the voltage given to the inverting terminal. Okay, this is your VID or VD. And there is a load resistance as you can see. A represents the large signal voltage gain, which is nothing but the open loop voltage gain. Open loop voltage gain. The feedback network has only two resistors, RF and R1 as connected across the output. You see RF and R1 are divided across the output. Okay. Now, what is the concept of negative feedback? We are all very familiar. From the circuit, the difference input voltage VID is V1 minus V2 and you can see that V2 is equal to VF. Yes or no? You can see what is connected to V2 in this feedback loop. This VF, that is the voltage across R1, the feedback voltage is connected as V2. And what is V1? The non-inverting terminal is connected to the input signal source. V1 represents the non-inverting terminal. It is connected to the input signal source. Therefore, if I substitute, I'll get VID is equal to, for V1, I'm going to replace it with the input signal. Direct connection it is. V1 is equal to Vin and V2 is equal to what? VF. The feedback voltage is given here, VF, and input voltage is given here. So, V1 is equal to Vin and V2 is equal to VF. This is how we can write. Therefore, the input differential signal is Vin minus VF and the feedback voltage is 180 degree out of phase. Therefore, it is negative feedback circuit. Whenever you give the feedback signal 180 degree with respect to the input, out of phase with respect to input, it is negative feedback. And in an op-amp, we are going to get negative feedback whenever we are what? In an op-amp, you are going to get negative feedback whenever you connect the feedback signal to the inverting input. Any signal which is connected to the inverting input of op-amp gives 180 degree phase shift from the actual input signal, or it is considered as negative feedback. Please remember that. First, let's try to derive an expression for a relationship between closed loop voltage gain AF and the open loop voltage gain A. What's the difference between the two? Closed loop voltage gain means it is the final output voltage divided by actual applied input voltage, V0 by Vn. Whereas the open loop output gain is just V0 at the output divided by VID or VD. Therefore, the open loop gain is V0 by VID, and the closed loop voltage gain is what? V0 is the final output signal divided by the input signal which we are going to apply, that is Vin. Okay. A is V0 by Vin. This is closed loop voltage gain. Open loop voltage gain is V0 by VID. VID is the input at the base of the amplifier. Okay. So let me consider the expression for closed loop gain AF. It is also called gain with feedback AF. This is given as V0 by Vin. V0 is the final output voltage which you observe, and Vin is the actual applied input signal voltage. We know that the output voltage of an op-amp should be given as A into differential input voltage. Since this AOL or A is written as V0 by VID, please see that. So what will I get as V0? V0 will be A into VID. And what is VID? So V0 is A into VID, and VID is nothing but the difference between the two input signal V1 minus V2. Okay, you can write V1 minus V2 also, both are one and the same, provided V1 is higher than V2. So A VID can be written like this. And what can I write the feedback factor beta as? Sorry, the feedback factor beta is VF by V0. VF represents feedback voltage and V0 represents the output voltage. So feedback factor is always this. Now I'll just try to substitute equation 2 in equation 1 and simplify. V0 is A into Vin minus Vf, as I told you. V0 is A into Vin minus Vf, which is A into Vin minus, can I write Vf as beta times V0? Vf can be written as beta times V0. So I'll write this equation as A into Vin minus beta times V0. I can use the symbol B or beta. Please remember that. Okay. Now, let's try to rearrange the terms, regroup. I have a V0 on the left hand side. I have one on the right hand side. Therefore, what is this? V0, if I shift, this will be minus A beta V0. I'll get V0 into 1 plus, since it is minus on the right hand side, 1 plus A beta V0. I have V0 on the left hand side, I'll not write, is equal to what? I have just regrouped the terms I'm telling you. V0 is V0 plus A into beta into V0 is equal to A Vin, as you can see. Therefore, AF or the overall gain with feedback is given as 1 over 1 plus A beta into A, or A divided by 1 plus A beta, as you can see here. Okay. So I can write this whole circuit simply like this. Basic amplifier A, the feedback network beta, and the mixing or adding network on the input side. So I think we'll stop with this here and we'll derive the expression for closed loop gain in the next class.